Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Renegade Immortal based on novel. So let's start. Wang Lin flew to where the pagoda was and landed next to it. His original body separated from him, coughed out some blood, and sat down to cultivate. After a very long time, Wang Lin opened his eyes. He quickly sat down, took out some pills, and started to manage the spiritual energy in his body. 3 days later, he and his original body both opened their eyes at the same time. My injury is too serious this time. I must go into closed-door cultivation to recover. Wang Lin secretly thought that the messenger of the heavens had no intent on killing him until that very last blow. The messenger had no emotions, it did everything by the rules. With how much of Wan's nascent soul dissipated, it will take her 19 years to recover and awaken. Once she awakens, the heavens will come again to wipe out anyone who dares to try to escape the heavens' law. Wang Lin stared at the sky. Wang Lin stood up. At the same time, his original body silently flew away toward the giant hole that was created during the battle. It landed in the hole and sank down. As it sank, the dirt around the hole followed it in. Soon, the hole was filled. It was like it was never there. Thousands of kilometers underground, the original body sat there cultivating. The 2 purple stars on its forehead spun rapidly. A faint, purple light came out of its body, forming a small ball of light beside him. The injury the original body suffered was much heavier than Wang Lin's. Especially on that last attack, where the original body took 70% of the damage. However, with the strength of the original body's body, it was not life-threatening, but it had to go into closed-door cultivation as well. Wang Lin took a deep breath. He then slapped his bag of holding and took out a jade. After leaving a message inside, he threw it into the sky and it disappeared, leaving a streak of light. After doing all of this, Wang Lin sat down next to the pagoda and activated the sliver of Juyi's domain. Unless an ascendant cultivator comes, no one else will be able to approach him. Just like this, Wang Lin closed his eyes and silently healed his injuries. During the day, the rays from the sun landed on Wang Lin, giving him a hint of warmth. At night, the moonlight quietly arrived, bringing with it the cold of the night. On rainy days, the rain fell down from the sky and landed on Wang Lin, completely soaking him almost instantly. On snowy days, the snow slowly fell from the sky, covering everything. No matter where one looked, everything was covered in white. There was even a snowman next to the pagoda. Whether it was day or night, rainy or snowy, Wang Lin's body still wouldn't move. He was like an old, dead monk. There was no vitality coming from his body. 6 months after the battle, spring came again. In the old Jew's home in Apricot Village, a baby was born. Her name was Yu. This baby girl was born crying like other babies, but no one knew that this cry was different than a normal baby's cry. The baby girl's body was very weak. Luckily, old Jew was respected in Apricot Village. He also owned a store, so his life was better than most people's. There was a cave in the mountain 50 kilometers away from the Apricot Village. Tai Yang had been cultivating there for more than 6 months. 6 months ago, Tai Yun and Lu Fei received Wang Lin's message ordering one of them to come and guard Li Muwen. After the two talked about it, Tai Yang came. His divine sense was locked onto the village at all times as he silently guarded it. Wang Lin's healing continued. The snow outside the pagoda had already turned to water and was absorbed by the earth. The original body was thousands of kilometers underground. During these 6 months, it had gone deeper 3 times. Each time it did so, it sank several thousand kilometers. The original body had already traveled 1/5 of the way to the planet's core. It was not a lie that the ancient gods grew in battle. After this fierce battle, the original body was showing signs of breaking through. Although it was slow, he had already reached the peak of the 2-star stage. The 3rd transformation was not far away. In the blink of an eye, a year passed by. Yu was now 1 year old. Most children at this age would start making sounds even if they couldn't speak, but Zhu Yu remained silent. Thus, the people of the village began a rumor stating that this girl was a mute. On this day, a group of people walked out of a normal transfer array on the edge of Chu. Among them was a woman wearing a veil. There was a hint of fatigue in her eyes, but they still shined like the stars and would mesmerize almost anyone. Following behind her was an old man. The old man was wearing an old, black coat, and his eyes were dim. It was like he was going through a severe illness. If Wang Lin saw them, he would recognize them as the two that had bought the rank 6 pill recipe. Beside the two of them stood a white-haired old man. He was the soul formation cultivator from the treasure refining pavilion named Hu. Behind him were 3 people. One of them was someone Wang Lin knew well, Qiu Saiping. The other 2 were Shuluo and a very beautiful woman. This woman was the person who delivered the purple jade. After the 6 of them exited the transfer array, the old man looked toward the north and said, "Although Chu isn't the quickest way to enter the immortal graveyard, it is easier than going through Ju." The woman with the white veil nodded and said, "What Senior said is correct. Although going through Chu takes longer, there is no checkpoint to pass through like there is in Ju, so it is much easier." The old man named Hu flew forward. Everyone else quickly followed. Qiu Saiping secretly sighed. After Wang Lin left, he decided to follow Old Man, Hu in hopes of reaching the soul formation stage one day. Although his cultivation level had risen in the last 10 years, it was still too far away from the soul formation stage. He believed that if he were able to obtain that object in the immortal graveyard, then reaching the soul formation stage would no longer be a dream. The woman secretly sighed. During these 10 years, she had reached out to many soul formation cultivators. In the end, she remembered that the treasure refining pavilion had a soul formation cultivator. After she revealed some secrets she hadn't told Wang Lin, she was able to convince the old man to help. The 6 of them flew north. They passed by many sects, but no one dared to stop them. Old Man Hu was surprised. "I haven't come to Chu in over 100 years. There seems to be many changes." Behind him, Shuluo respectfully said, "Ancestor, in these recent years, the Cloud Sky sect has devoured several other sects, and officially became the #1 sect in Chu." Old Man Hu nodded and said, "The Cloud Sky sect focuses on alchemy, so they must have a lot of nascent soul cultivators. When we return from the immortal graveyard, remind me to take a trip to the Cloud Sky sect to ask for some pills." Shuluo faintly smiled. He was sure that the Cloud Sky sect would immediately hand over pills for their own safety. As the 6 of them flew, a pillar of light shot into the sky. From where they were, the pillar was only as thick as a baby's fist, but if they were closer, the pillar would be countless times larger. Old Man Hu suddenly turned toward the pillar of light. Even with his experience, he was shocked. The eyes of the old man, who was behind the woman, suddenly lit up as he looked toward the pillar of light. He was also shocked. This pillar of light was coming from the center of Chu, where the Heavens Tower was. This is a messenger from an upper cultivation country descending. But a messenger from a rank 4 cultivation country wouldn't cause this big of a commotion. The more the old man looked, the more shocked he became. Then, several golden dragons appeared around the pillar of light, and soon, a white-robed young man slowly walked out. The moment he walked out, the golden dragons let out roars. Even with how far the 6 of them were, they were able to clearly hear the roars. Shortly after, the golden dragons all charged at young man in white. Right as they were about to collide, they turned into countless golden threads, and became embroidered onto the young man's clothes. A messenger from Suzaku. The old man revealed an aghast expression. He realized that something big was about to happen in Chu. Why else would a messenger from Suzaku come to a mere rank 3 cultivation country? The woman's face revealed a trace of panic. The old man took a step forward and stood in front of her. The panic on the woman's face quickly disappeared, but her clenched fist was covered in sweat. Qiu Saiping, Shuluo, and the beautiful woman were all shocked. Qiu Saiping was especially shocked. He looked at the light and muttered, "This is the first time I've seen someone from Suzaku." Suzaku. The beautiful woman took a deep breath and softly asked, "Ancestor, why did a messenger from Suzaku came to Chu? Fellow cultivator Gong-sun, what do you think? Old man, who looked toward the old man wearing the old, black coat. The old man slowly said, fellow cultivator who? I have just entered the soul formation stage, so I don't know many things about Suzaku. However, I believe that something big is about to happen. I don't know what it is, but why else would a messenger from Suzaku come to Chu? Old man who secretly thought, rubbish. His gaze turned toward the pillar of light. Just at this moment, the pillar of light started to fade. The young man in white flew toward the six of them like a meteor. The woman with the white veil's body trembled. Her eyes were filled with extreme fear. This scene was noticed by old man who. He didn't show any reaction on his face, but a hint of doubt appeared in his heart. That messenger was very fast, so he soon arrived before the six. The messenger slightly paused for a moment. His green eyes swept across the six of them. Aside from old man who and the old man in the black cloak, everyone's hearts trembled and they lowered their heads. There are two soul formation cultivators here. The light disappeared, revealing the handsome-looking young man. Although the woman who came with old man, who had her head lowered, her cheeks still turned slightly red. This man was the most handsome person she had ever met. Where are you guys going? The young man's voice was calm, but it didn't hide the condescending aura. The old man was immediately able to tell that this young man's cultivation was at the peak of the early stage of soul formation. He sneered in his heart, but revealed nothing on the surface as he said, we are going to the immortal graveyard. The young man's gaze landed on the woman with the white veil and he said, take off your veil. The old man with the black cloak stepped forward and said, Lord Messenger, my lady has orders from the head of the house that she can't easily reveal her face. I hope that Lord Messenger can understand. The young man's gaze lit up. After pondering for a bit, he waved his sleeves and flew away. The six of them pondered for a while. Old man, whose eyes lit up, and then he followed the young man. He wanted to see why this Suzaku messenger had come to Chu. After he moved, Chiu Saiping, Shuluo, and the woman quickly followed. The white-veiled woman looked at the old man, clenched her teeth, and followed them. The old man let out a sigh and followed her. Everyone followed the young man, but from a distance. They saw him flying north. It seemed like his destination was also the immortal graveyard. Old man who secretly thought, could some kind of treasure have appeared in the immortal graveyard? But just as that thought went through his head, his expression suddenly changed when he saw the young man flying over a valley. The young man seemed to have met some kind of powerful force, and was pushed back more than 100 feet. The young man revealed a shocked expression. Old man, who landed on a nearby mountain. Everyone else followed him and looked at the young man. The young man frowned. He took out a jade and checked it. The instructions inside the jade led to this place. He pondered for a bit before taking a few steps forward. Then he suddenly felt a terrifying pressure, so his expression changed and he quickly backed up. Old man who was curious. He looked toward the valley and saw a pagoda. Below the pagoda sat a person, but there was no life coming from that person. It looked like a mummified body. The young man tried a few times, but couldn't go more than 5 kilometers deep into the barrier. His expression was unsettled, and in the end he clasped his hands and said, I'm Feng Yushan of Suzaku. I wish to greet fellow cultivator Seng Nyo. Seng Nyo. Old man whose eyes became serious. He was shocked. His eyes unconsciously landed on the mummified body below the pagoda. It was no surprise that he was this shocked. The name Seng Nyo had become very famous in the Sea of Devils. Stories about Seng Nyo almost never ended. There was a rumor that he had been secretly trained by Suzaku, and would be the person to inherit the title of Suzaku. Otherwise, how else would Suzaku not respond with their usual overbearing style after he took an arm from Red Butterfly? There was also a rumor that he was a disciple of some secret power, and that his talent was far beyond Red Butterfly's. The rumors also stated that within this secret power, there were many cultivators far more powerful than Seng Nyo, which was why Suzaku didn't dare to move against him. In addition, there's some even more ridiculous rumors saying that Seng Nyo hadn't even cultivated for more than 60 years, making him even more valuable to Suzaku than Red Butterfly. There were numerous stories and rumors like this. Seng Nyo. The white-veiled woman's eyes lit up and her breathing became rough. She thought that if Seng Nyo would help her, then everything would be all right. The old man beside her revealed a hint of respect in his eyes. I never thought that the famous Seng Nyo would be here. Chiyo Saiping took a deep breath. No wonder a messenger from Suzaku would come to Chu. Shuluo revealed a look of disbelief. The beautiful woman softly said, I wonder what relationship this Seng Nyo has with Chu. The moment she said this, old man who pondered for a bit and then said, cancel the order to send someone to the Cloud Sky sect. Shuluo was startled, but he quickly agreed. The young man waited for a bit. After hearing no response, he frowned and said, fellow cultivator Seng, I'm not here about you injuring Red Butterfly, but to deliver her challenge letter. I hope you can come out to meet me. The moment he said this, the 6 people all had various expressions on their faces. Old man whose eyes lit up and he looked toward the valley. After a long time, there was still no response from the valley. Feng Yushan was very angry. He was a disciple of Suzaku, so he was shown respect everywhere he went. Not even rank 5 cultivation countries dared to retreat him like this. Feng Yushan's eyes became gloomy and he slowly said, fellow cultivator Seng, don't refuse our good will only to regret it later. No one dares to ignore the orders of Suzaku. The moment he finished speaking, a powerful force came from the valley. The power formed a giant hand which grabbed the young man. A series of crackling sounds came from within the hand. Feng Yushan's forehead was covered in sweat and his eyes were filled with fear. I'm a messenger of Suzaku. Seng Nyo, don't be rash. I'm only here to deliver the challenge letter. A calm voice came from within the valley. The date. Feng Yushan quickly said, 3 months from now, on Mount Suzaku in the Western Heaven Temple. How did you know I was here? Although Wang Lin's voice was calm, there was a hint of killing intent within it. Feng Yushan didn't hesitate to respond. I really don't know. This was sent from Mount Suzaku. If it wasn't for them, Red Butterfly's master would have already come looking for you. Your location was also sent down by them. At this moment, old man whose expression became strange. He felt like he was familiar with this voice. He turned around and looked at Chiyo Saiping to see that Chiyo Saiping was dumbfounded. It seemed like Chiyo Saiping had already guessed the same thing. After a pause, Wang Lin's voice came from the valley. I don't have the time. The invisible hand around Feng Yushan disappeared, allowing him to regain his freedom. His back was covered in cold sweat at this point. Now he finally understood the terror of Seng Nyo. He originally thought that Seng Nyo was only able to take senior apprentice sister Red Butterfly's arm, because he used some tricks. Now he no longer thought like that. Wang Lin's response put him in a difficult situation. He pondered a bit, clasped his hands, and respectfully said, fellow cultivator Seng, it is by the order of Mount Suzaku that you battle with Red Butterfly. They rarely ever send out any messages. In the past 100 years, they only sent out 3. The first time was to recruit Red Butterfly as a core disciple. The second time was to stop people from pursuing you. The third time was when they gave out your location and ordered you to fight Red Butterfly. I believe that you will receive great benefits if you win. After all, of the 3 messages, 2 of them were related to you. Wang Lin's voice came from inside the valley. Tell Red Butterfly that even if she wants to battle, it will have to be in 10 years. Feng Yushan pondered for a bit, let out a wry smile, and clasped his hands. He turned around and disappeared in a ray of light. Old friends in the valley, please come in. With that, Juyi's domain disappeared. Old man who laughed and walked into the valley. Behind him, the white-veiled woman and her servant followed. Chiyo Saiping hesitated for a bit before quickly following in along with Shuluo and the woman. Inside the valley, the mummified body moved when the 6 of them arrived. After a series of crackling sounds, the mummified body's eyes opened. Wang Lin took a deep breath, stood up, and let out a smile. He waved his hand and surrounded himself in a thick, white fog. After the fog disappeared, Wang Li appeared before them wearing a white robe. Everything that had landed on his body during his time cultivating had disappeared. Wang Lin pointed at the ground and suddenly a table made of stone appeared from the ground. Several stone chairs also appeared. Please sit. Wang Lin sat down, waved his hand, and a tea set appeared on the table. Old man who stared at Wang Lin and sat down across from him. The beautiful woman quickly greeted Wang Lin, walked up, and poured tea for everyone. Wang Lin looked at the black-cloaked old man next to the white-veiled woman and smiled. Fellow cultivator, please sit. The old man took a long look at Wang Lin. He recognized that this was the same person from back then. A complex expression appeared on his face as he sat down. The others also sat down. Old man who looked at Wang Lin and bitterly smiled. I don't know if I should call you fellow cultivator Wang or fellow cultivator Seng. Wang Lin picked up a cup, took a sip and smiled. Names are just what we call each other. There is no need to worry too much about it. The white-veiled woman was still looking at Wang Lin. Her face showed a complex expression. She would never have guessed that the famous Seng Nyo was this person. Wang Lin looked at the woman and said, Lady is still as beautiful as before. I believe that you are heading to the immortal graveyard to save your father since you are with fellow cultivator who. The white-veiled woman whispered, back then, this little girl didn't know Senior's identity. I hope Senior forgives my rudeness. The name Seng Nyo was very famous throughout Suzaku. Even old man who was shocked by it, much less her. Wang Lin put down his cup and silently shook his head. He looked toward Chiu Siping and said, Brother Chiu, if you give up everything and stay alone, you have a chance to comprehend the ways of the heavens. Chiu Siping wryly smiled. He knew that he wouldn't be able to keep the fact that he was now following old man who from Wang Lin. He said, reaching the soul formation stage is difficult. Old man who picked up the cup and took a sip. He was shocked by the flavor. Fellow cultivator Wang, this tea. Wang Lin smiled. This tea is not from Suzaku, but from another cultivation planet. I accidentally got this during my trip to the celestial realm many years ago. Old man who took a deep breath. He stared at Wang Lin with a trace of hesitation in his eyes before saying, Rumor has it that when Brother Wang went to the celestial realm, you took an arm from Red Butterfly. Was Brother Wang able to obtain celestial spiritual energy? The way he referred to Wang Lin unconsciously changed. Wang Lin looked at old man who and said, I have obtained some. Old man whose eyes lit up. He looked at Wang Lin and sincerely said, I am willing to pay any price for some celestial spiritual energy. I hope fellow cultivator Wang is willing to sell some. Wang Lin faintly smiled. This matter is not urgent. We can wait until it is time to break through to the soul transformation stage. I wonder, what is fellow cultivator who going to the immortal graveyard for? Old man who secretly thought that although Wang Lin hadn't cultivated for long, he was an old fox who could easily change the subject. After hearing Wang Lin, he laughed and said, that is true. Then when this old man is about to reach the soul transformation stage, I'll have to come and ask you for some. As for the immortal graveyard, you will have to ask fellow cultivator Zishin to explain. The white-veiled woman looked at Wang Lin and said, Senior, inside the immortal graveyard there is a reincarnation tree. Junior has a map that can lead us there. Wang Lin calmly took a sip of tea. The woman who came with old man, who obediently poured another cup for Wang Lin. She would occasionally glance at Wang Lin. After Chiu Siping heard reincarnation tree, his eyes were filled with desire. Shu Luo showed the same look. The white-veiled woman looked at Wang Lin and found that his expression hadn't changed at all after hearing about the reincarnation tree. His reaction was just like old man Hu's. She couldn't help but secretly sigh. Wang Lin was extremely mischievous, so she couldn't see through him at all. It looked like aside from strength, a soul formation cultivator's slyness was far above a nascent soul cultivator's. Old Man, who looked toward Wang Lin and found that there was no change in Wang Lin's expression. Now he believed even more of the rumors about Seng Nyo. Sitting under the reincarnation tree allows a cultivator to experience an extra life cycle. This is very good for soul formation cultivators, because it allows them to increase their understanding of their domain. The white-veiled woman looked at Wang Lin. She didn't believe that he wasn't tempted. Unfortunately, she still couldn't see any changes in Wang Lin's expression. Wang Lin let out a faint smile. He looked toward Old Man Hu and said, "Ridiculous. The domain of a soul formation cultivator is something that they comprehend themselves. This reincarnation tree might have some effect on peak late-stage nascent soul cultivators, or early-stage soul formation cultivators, whose cultivation hasn't stabilized yet. I believe Old Man Hu has other goals for this trip." The white-veiled woman was startled. She looked toward the old man in the black cloak to see that he was also frowning. Old Man Hu laughed. He didn't try to hide it. He said, "Brother Wang is really knowledgeable. I am impressed. You are indeed correct." The white-veiled woman frowned and looked toward Old Man Hu. Old Man Hu laughed. "Fellow cultivator Zixin, don't blame me. If it was just for the reincarnation tree, I wouldn't follow you into the immortal graveyard. What I want is the reincarnation fruit." After he finished speaking, he looked toward Wang Lin and said, "Without Brother Wang, I'm only 30% confident in succeeding, but if Brother Wang comes, I'll be 60% confident." Reincarnation fruit. Although Wang Lin's expression remained normal, his heart was moved. When he heard about the reincarnation tree, Wang Lin's mind began to work. Then, when he heard the words, reincarnation fruit, he was even more sure. He pondered for a bit and then said, "Is this the fruit that is the size of a fist and changes colors every 2 hours?" Old Man Hu's eyes lit up. He took a long look at Wang Lin and then said, "Brother Wang really is very knowledgeable. That is the way to identify the fruit. For us soul formation cultivators, it is a great treasure. If it is eaten at the late stage of soul formation, it will increase one's chance of reaching the soul transformation stage by 30%. I have only seen it in some old text." Wang Lin pondered for a bit. From the memories of the ancient god, there were few fruits that were very good for a young ancient god. Due to the ancient god's bodies, most fruits were useless. Even celestial fruits could only increase their spiritual energy by a bit. Only a handful of spirit fruits could have any effect. While they wouldn't increase their cultivation level, if they smeared one of those fruits all over their body, it would strengthen their foundation. This was called body cleansing among the ancient gods. Normally, an adult ancient god finds a fruit and cleanses the body of a baby ancient god before they throw them into the core of a planet. An ancient god that has gone through body cleansing has their meridians completely hidden inside their body. As a result, the speed at which the ancient god absorbs spiritual energy increases greatly. The meridians only reappear when the ancient god reaches adulthood, and at that point, the rate at which they absorb spiritual energy will already have reached a terrifying degree. In ancient times, every single ancient god was hunted by every living thing, because wherever there was an ancient god, there would be no spiritual energy for anyone else. However, most things that try to kill an ancient god end up dying themselves. Only after going through body cleansing could Wang Lin's original body be considered a real ancient god. Wang Lin pondered for a bit before saying, "Immortal graveyard." Old Man Hu said, "This immortal graveyard is very dangerous. After all, there is a power there that even Suzaku dreads. However, as long as we don't go in too deep, then there shouldn't be too many powerful savage people." Wang Lin didn't know much about the immortal graveyard. He only knew from the map that the immortal graveyard was very large, and that compared to its surface, the underground portion was even larger. No one besides Suzaku knew exactly how many layers the immortal graveyard had. Brother Wang should know that these savages were the natives of this planet. When Suzaku became a rank 6 cultivation country, they were gifted this planet by the Cultivation Alliance. They then had a large war with the savages. This originally lively planet was ravaged during the war, and has now turned into a half-wasted planet. All of this was caused by the savages. During this war, 90% of the savages were killed. The survivors then escaped into the immortal graveyard. Every 100 years, Suzaku sends countless cultivators to kill them, but they still can't wipe them all out. The reincarnation tree grows underground and is considered holy by the savages. However, there are a total of 9 reincarnations trees, which give us a chance. As for the reincarnation fruit, as long as we can find a tree, I have a secret method for it to bear fruit within 3 hours. Wang Lin pondered for a bit. He looked toward the white-veiled woman and asked, "Why did your father go to the immortal graveyard?" The white-veiled woman whispered, "To get me a piece of reincarnation wood." Wang Lin didn't ask further questions. He pondered for a bit before saying to Old Man Hu, "I can't make a decision right now." Old Man Hu nodded. "No problem. The immortal graveyard is indeed dangerous. I hesitated for a long time before making the decision as well. How about this? We will wait for you outside the immortal graveyard for 1 month. If you don't come, we will go on our own." Wang Lin nodded. Old Man Hu stood up and smiled. "Then I won't bother you anymore. I'll wait for you there." With that, he clasped his hands and left. Chiu Siping and company quickly stood up and said their goodbyes. The white-veiled woman stood up, hesitated, and whispered, "Zixin hopes to see Senior there." She then flew up and left. The old man behind her clasped his hands and followed her. After the 6 of them left, Wang Lin picked up the teacup and took a sip. His eyes were sparkling. The reincarnation fruit is very useful for the original body. If I can obtain it, the original body's power will increase by a lot. He pondered for a bit before slapping his bag of holding. 3 carvings appeared in his hand. 6 of these time domain carvings have been destroyed, leaving only 3, so the power of the time domain that they can display has greatly weakened. Sadly, there are no 100-year-old trees to make new ones with. After putting away the wooden carvings, Wang Lin checked his bag and took out an arm. This arm had remained in good condition. There was even a thin layer of ice covering it, releasing a cold aura. Suzaku didn't act to help Red Butterfly, but sent this challenge letter instead. It is indeed strange. Wang Lin pondered for a long time, but he couldn't think of why. It looks like a battle with Red Butterfly is inevitable, but as long as she hasn't reached the soul transformation stage, I'll have a chance to win. Wang Lin sneered. He then reached out and a stone chair flew over and landed before him. The chair looked like it was going to melt, but it morphed into a basin. Wang Lin put Red Butterfly's arm inside it. Then he formed a seal and black light appeared on his hand. Wang Lin pointed at the arm and the black light entered the arm. Subsequently, Wang Lin slapped his bag of holding and took out several small bottles. These bottles were things that Wang Lin had obtained during these past few hundred years. They contained the poison from a spirit beast. He broke the bottles open and poured out the contents. Red, blood-like liquid came out and fused with the arm. Then Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He formed a seal that created a ghostly light. The ghostly light quickly took the shape of a skull and entered the arm. Wang Lin didn't stop. He continued to create skulls until 99 more of them had entered the arm one by one. The color of the arm suddenly changed from the original snow white to black and red. It looked terrifying and there was now also a stench coming from it. Part 1 end here.